You got your pencil to defend yourself?
You have a pencil? Ready, set?
Cha-ching! Yeah. I've been practicing my origami.
Look at this.
Your origami.
241, right?
Paper?
Folding paper?
Who do you have
That's
the honors
rock, paper, pencils.
of running camera tonight?
I'm sorry?
Who's running camera tonight?
Andy Bazaar.
Andy Bazaar.
B-U-S-A-R-D. Sound just like it sounds.
Bussard.
There you go.
Buzzard. Okay.
Right.
Bizarre.
Buzzard.
Buzzard, like the
Buzzard.
bird.
Buzzard.
But you say it.
Cleaned off
Like the front of the nacelles on Star Trek, the
Yes.
Bussard collectors. Yeah.
Relative.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Bussard. No, not Buzzard.
All right, ready, set, go, guys.
I'm ready. Are you
this
ready?
This is number 241.
Everybody out there ready? You guys ready?
Look,
All right.
All right.
Look at that.
ready,
We're
set,
ready.
Great audience.
Give
Love
us
the
a
blue.
countdown, Andy.
3, 2, 1, go.
This is the What's Neat This Week show number 241. I'm going to start over. No, that's okay. I'll edit right at the countdown.
No, we're good.
Andy,
we're good.
go ahead and give us a countdown.
3, 2, 1, go.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. And by GL Robotics. With over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is What's Neat This Week in Model Railroading, the podcast that you guys have all come to love. Show number 241 for July 22nd.
Wow, it's already July 22nd.
I know, right? School starts in a month.
I know.
2023.
The RPM is next weekend, gentlemen.
With us tonight, we've got a lot of great people on the set, and we have a lot of wonderful folks that have shown up from the what Model Railroad Club?
Muskegon Railroad Historical Society.
Nice.
Muskegon
Yeah, right.
Model
That's in
Railroad
Michigan.
Historical Society. Guys, let's whoop it up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Come on, guys.
Thank you for coming.
All right. We got Randy and Ray Smalls. We got Joe Batchelder, Raleigh Rice, and then Andy Bazaar is on behind the camera.
Thanks for
All
coming,
right.
guys.
Thanks for
Appreciate you.
It's awesome. Tonight on the set, we've got Mike Budde, where he always sits. Hey, Mike.
Hi, everybody.
It's awesome to have you tonight.
Thanks.
As I said, Andy Bazaar is running camera for us. Thank you very much, Andy. I know what a job it is, and I hope you have fun tonight with it. I've got sitting next to me
The artist.
the artist formerly known as Sugar Fire.
What's up, everybody?
Joshua Barton.
Hey,
You're going to have to explain that.
yeah, we'll go into that later.
Yeah.
Sitting
fair
right
enough.
next to Joshua, I've got Woody. Hey, Woody.
How you doing, bud?
I met you at the show up in Wisconsin called Train Fest
Yeah.
back in 2019.
21?
19.
No.
19, was it?
Yeah,
'cause
19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had these little throttle holders to hold the NCE,
Oh,
the Digitrax,
yeah.
all types of throttles, and you made us this display.
Yeah.
And you made the
buzzsaw.
sign in front of the table that Andy is getting right now for you. That's all made out of metal.
cut, I guess, with I don't know what, something magical, and it's painted. It's a kind of tool I don't have in my shop.
A CNC plasma cutter is what it's made.
Right?
Wow.
Not,
Thank you so
not magic.
much.
American
I'm nobody
sweat
special.
and ingenuity
Thank you for your
is what
kindness
America.
that you've
Yeah.
exhibited to us to help us support
Right
the
on.
hobby.
Oh, I get people that order them a lot of times, and I fill orders, and it's great. But I do get some people who complain the wrong way. They don't think I charge enough, but it doesn't matter.
Sure.
A lot of times I'm cutting out of other material that's already been paid for, so it's not much in material cost. So they're cheap because I want to get them out there so people can use them,
It's great.
and they
for-
last forever.
It's great for me to go to a railroad, model railroad, and see your fixtures on their layout.
Wait a minute. You made Joshua sign too, right?
Yeah, and Mike Budde is signed too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And if I can pull those out of my phone, here's pictures of both of them.
I have pictures of that, I think, in the computer. The Fountain City Railroad?
Fountain City Railroad.
No, just make sure you get me the picture.
I definitely will.
Woody, it's an honor to have you with us tonight.
Absolutely.
Sitting right next to Woody, I know, right? We're still doing the introductions. We have our favorite James Regier, who's been gallivanting from country to country and through the states. I haven't seen you in 6 weeks, James.
Yeah,
None of us have.
It's
been a while, yeah.
So,
I've been at undisclosed locations.
Is that that's a Canadian accent? I can hear
Canadian
that. You
accent.
see
It
that?
does
You
sound
pick
more
that up.
Canadian.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes, yeah.
we've got a lot of new news coming up in this show. Plus, I want to mention that my father's train show that he does, the Sedalia Rails Train Show, November 3rd and 4th, coming up in 2023. It's really a great show. Father is putting this on, and he's done well for year after year so far. It's awesome, Dad. Good job, brother.
Yeah.
He's also got a lot of hats that he ordered from Denny Yelsma with the logos of the show on it. So be sure to check this out. It's coming up, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the future. So Denny Yelsma said to me to mention tonight that the folks that have been trying to place orders on his website for the last 3.5 weeks that have been unable to, it's because his shopping cart failed and he wasn't aware of the situation. Right now the webmaster is working on that diligently to get this, whatever it is they have to do, the magic of internet, to make it work. But call Denny on the phone. He said, go on my website, call me on the phone if you are trying to place an order or you want to order something for your business, for your work, a jacket, a shirt, whatever. I mean, the golf tee towels are amazing.
Yeah.
Is what they call them, golf towels?
Yeah.
Check it out, his website, yelsma.com. Denny Yelsma at Yelsma Graphics. Thank you so much for what you've done for us to help promote this hobby. And we will be passing out your hats next week at the RPM show in Collinsville, Illinois, July 28th and 29th. Be prepared for that show. A lot of great models, a lot of manufacturers, a lot of wonderful model railroaders just like you and us. So look forward to that if you can come to St. Louis. I'd love to say hi to you and give you a hat.
It's kind of like a big family reunion every year.
It is.
You know? It's great.
Oh my God, the one after COVID was just amazing.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, record breaking.
So that's all I've got on the list. Where do we go after this?
Well, let's go to Woody, and I want to
Great.
hear about the Muskegon Railroad Historical Society.
Yes,
Yeah.
Woody.
Well, yeah, it's we are Muskegon, Michigan, right on the lake shore. Just probably, if you know where Grand Rapids is, a little north of that. We have a nonprofit association museum. There's some modelers going on. We're starting to put together an O-gauge layout for display. Have plans to put a big HO layout in the back once we figure out what we're doing with that. Got over 40-some volunteers that come and they're members, and they help out and do whatever they can to help do what we need to get done for the building. It's just been newly remodeled and it's looking great. We've got a library, probably over 1,000 books in just railroad history, trains of the area, from the West Michigan area. You can come and check that out. We got meetings every month, general meetings on Tuesday where the general membership comes in. There's always a slideshow or a video, some kind of presentation of that. And then board meetings, obviously, when we need those. I think it's about it. So we got.
What if people want to know more information on it? What website can they go
It's
to?
mrhsonline.org. mrhsonline.org. And you can see pictures and photos of things that are going on in the area and what we're doing, and there'll be notifications. We also have a Facebook page that you can get on and interact with and ask questions and
That's
set up
great.
a time to come down and see what we got going on. We have artifacts. We're starting to set up cases with artifacts and railroad displays and stuff too. So
Very cool. So all of you are traveling, I hear.
yeah,
What
we
is the
start.
traveling for?
We did like we call it. We do excursions.
Okay.
You know, like other organizations do. We do excursions. Like this one, there's 6 of us, where we went into Galesburg. We left Muskegon, went into Galesburg, and we seen their little museum there, and watched some trains there. Had to eat, ate at the packing house, and then we left there, went to Fort Madison, got there last night, checked into the hotel, watched trains there at the station for a while. That was a good time.
Very cool.
Seen a lot of trains. Left there this morning, went to the National Transportation Museum here in St. Louis.
Oh, nice.
Walked through all that, seen all that stuff, and that's just a cool museum.
Yeah, it
Wow.
is.
Me and Andy been there a couple times now, and some of these other guys ain't been there in 30 years, 40
Yeah,
years,
that's
right?
one
So
of the
things
big
have changed
boys
a
are
lot.
there,
Yeah,
and there's all kinds of
they're
cool stuff.
starting to redo a lot of that stuff, and it was just, I go through it and I look at stuff, and I tell you, every time I go back, I say, "Wow, I didn't see that last time." It's
Yeah.
that big, right?
Well, they're constantly changing stuff,
yeah,
evolving
yeah,
too.
yes,
So
yeah, it's a good time. Anybody you got to see it.
that's very cool. Galesburg is very cool too. Mike and
Yeah.
I took a trip there here a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and in the future, we'll do more excursions where we'll go to Marion, Ohio, or we'll take a bunch of guys down there and watch trains, or Deschler, Ohio, or set up certain things, and people all get involved, sign up for it, just like an excursion for any group or something like that.
Very
You
cool.
plan it and get a hotel and
Very cool.
watch, see, and
If you
enjoy
guys are
trains.
up in that area, get a hold of these guys.
Yeah, right on.
Sounds
Please
like
come
they're
see
doing
us.
big things.
Come see us.
Definitely, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming, man.
It's always a pleasure to
It's been
come down
great
here
to
and
see
talk
all
to
you guys.
You're
Yeah,
not done
yeah.
yet.
No.
We're gonna have a conversation tonight about model roading. I have a correction to make on my dad's train show. It is November 3rd. Let's think about that. No, the dates are incorrect. November 3rd is a setup for the vendors. November 4th is the actual train show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. You show up
Whoever
there.
writes
to
your
know.
notes
All
really
right.
just messed it up.
Did you write my
Yeah,
notes?
so show up on the 3rd if you want the early bird deals from the
Yeah,
vendors.
while the guys are setting up, buy it before they get it out there.
Tables are only $15. Is that correct? No, $150. $15. Just pay whatever, and
Yeah.
he'll give you a
Whatever he's
table.
got.
It's just
Whatever you got in your
fine.
pocket.
I'm sorry, Dad. We'll fix it. All right. Just
Don't hate me, Mr. Bird. I'm sorry.
Maybe next time, just take a picture of the flyer and edit it
That's
later.
a good idea. We'll just put it. edit all
I'm
that
sure
out
in there
post,
somewhere. I
yeah.
showed the flyer twice now.
You should have known this was happening when I showed up and your shirt was backwards.
Oh, see, that's what it was. Yeah.
Your day was already
Started
rough.
off
All right, Mike.
bad.
We're going straight to you on that backward shirt comment.
All right. A few weeks ago, I showed this moving van from Justin Grimm. It's a 3D print.
Beautiful.
And the company Vonderay was big in the St. Louis area. They were based in Fenton, a suburb of St. Louis, back in the 70s. And I used to see their trucks a lot where I lived. So I've always wanted to make a model. So anyway, the cab is an Athearn Freightliner that I also use Justin Grimm's parts on the front wheels and the visor, the horns, a lot of detail parts, and the
Oh, nice.
drum box in there on the cab too, to really detail that truck out. And then these other two were, this is an old Concours, like U-Haul moving van that was undecorated, and I put a Chevy C60 cab on the front of it to, just
Oh my God!
backdate it.
Who makes that cab?
CNC.
CNC. Those were
Yeah.
beautiful when
They
they came out.
are.
Yeah.
Right. And then this last one is an Athearn box truck that had a Ford C cab on it. I replaced it with my casting of the Matchbox refrigerator truck.
Very
Now,
GM
which
Nice.
Matchbox truck did that come off of?
Yeah, this one right here.
Look at that.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So there's the real life version of that.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
So yeah. Anyway,
That's a cool.
yeah, I've
That's
got
awesome.
some more decals, so I might do some more trucks. But I wanted to get these 3 done for the show this weekend.
Good job.
I don't know how much I'm going to bring. I'm not going to bring boxes and boxes of stuff like I usually do.
You're gonna bring your G-scale auto road?
Nah, that's old news. So anyway,
That's the longest.
I know. The longest pause ever in the history of
It was even awkward. It was a
shortened
little
it.
awkward. It was a
I know.
little
And
awkward.
It'll be shortened in the editing process, I'm
Actually,
sure.
a little tear dropped down my face as soon as he said he wasn't going to bring the auto rack.
What pause?
Totally tearing up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Okay, I'm ready to launch into this. I've done this before.
Hey, let's do this.
On the table tonight, I don't like this microphone. It doesn't sound that great. On the table tonight, I've got some amazing models from Broadway Limited. And Broadway Limited is supporting the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine. And tonight, they sent us some N-scale models to talk about. I've got Norfolk and Western Y6Bs in N-scale with full Paragon 4 sound in them. These models are so finite. And don't worry, Andy, about zooming in on these puppies because I am going to cover all this with outdoor photography and B-roll of them running.
I mean, look at all this detail.
yeah.
Look at
By
this.
the
I-
photos, I never would have thought they were
Nicely
N-scale.
Yeah,
detailed.
unless I saw with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe
Right.
these were in scale. They're just so
I
detailed.
cannot believe how far N-scales come just in the last 5 years.
And these have sound in them.
Yes, the Paragon 4 sound system. They also have the capacitors built into them so they don't stall on switches or turnouts or dirty track. They'll keep on
Wow.
moving
Alive.
forward.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
plastic outer shells with die-cast boilers to give them that weight. Broadway Limited had a video running on their website of them pulling a brick. I don't know how they did that, but they
Oh.
pulled a brick with this. And I shot these beautiful models outside, and they make them in 5 different road numbers plus an undecorated version. And check this out. Look at these visuals. I'm going to show you the maroon Y6B in Norfolk and
yeah.
Western in black and red maroon. Beautiful model. And also the same thing in blue with black and all the beautiful colors Norfolk and Western. Now these are fictitious paint schemes, but how beautiful they would be running on your layout. So yeah, I was really impressed with them. I did a segment for the What's Neat show about them. And in order to see that, you'll see that August 15th at What's Neat at Model Road Hobbyist Magazine. Next models next to them, I've got, and the photographs, you're not going to believe these shots, guys, folks, ladies and gentlemen. These are alligators, RSD 15s, okay? Santa Fe made
scale.
them so famous because they pulled their Santa Fe coal trains with the thrall gondolas originally with them.
They're
Which
good
I remember
pullers.
Roundhouse used to
Yeah.
make. Yes. 6 axles, just amazing. They had the Alco 251 16-cylinder V-type engine in them, producing 2,400 horsepower. And the one thing that Broadway Limited did on all these models is match the sound correctly. So when you get that locomotive, you're getting that sound of that engine in it.
In fact, there's a surviving example of it in the Illinois Railroad Museum.
Very cool.
What paint scheme is it in?
That is an excellent question. It's an orange
That's a
paint
great
scheme.
question.
It's an orange paint scheme. It's not a Santa Fe one. It's from whatever short line it worked for after
That's
retiring
true,
from
because
Santa Fe.
these were some of these went to Mexico. They also created a high hood in 3 variations. The standard high hood, also the high hood for the Pennsylvania Railroad had the horns and the lights in special locations and indentations on the top of the high hood. So these models all have sound in them. Broadway Limited, N-scale. Just hats off to you again. Check it out in the What's Neat
Absolutely.
video running in August. Thank you very much, Curtis, for sharing these models with us. I hope you guys do very well with these. You should, because they're exquisite.
They are. They definitely are.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, James, I see some 3D printed things over there on your side.
Yes. So I at last
Hold on.
last
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. You got your 3D resin printer that you use for these to build from Greg Summerland at glroboticsusa.com. He's got a lot of amazing, amazing printers in filament and resin on his website. I want you guys to check that out because Greg also helps us. And I want to have him on the show because the one thing that's really hot right now is his 3D printing pen,
Yeah.
which they're finding all kinds of things to do with. James, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
So,
Well, that's
hold on. Which model of his did you use to print these?
It's a Photon X.
Okay, the X.
It's a couple years old, and I'm not sure how much time it's got left on it. At some point they're on borrowed time, but we'll keep it running just as long as we can and producing models. But yeah, last time I was here, we talked about putting belts on this threshing machine and this tractor, and Mike had suggested Easy Line, and I ordered some Easy Line that night, and then a couple days later, I just got impatient for it to arrive. I went to Walmart, and I picked up this bead thread here. It's a 0.006 inch thick bead thread, and that actually did the job pretty well for making the belts. And I used for this big belt running between the steam tractor and the threshing machine, I actually used this Glide dental floss here. So Ken, dental floss does have a use.
It works.
Yeah, it works.
You got to paint it brown.
Yep.
I do got to paint it brown
stain it.
or stain it a
Yeah,
little
get a
bit.
little
Figure
dirty
out
water and
the
stain it up.
coloration. Yeah,
That'd
And
be
hope
all right.
that the doesn't have wax on it.
it does have wax,
you can
unfortunately.
probably
It's
scrape
tough to paint.
I may have to scrape it off a little bit, but for now, white's better than nothing.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
another suggestion.
Just
You
a
know that
representation of what
ribbon
you're
that they
trying to
put
say.
on packages, and you take the scissors,
Yeah.
you make it curl.
Yeah.
Maybe the packing ribbon for Christmas or birthday gifts.
It'd have to be
Ribbon.
a little bit thinner than that because, the dental floss is pretty narrow, and you see it already looks pretty huge on that model. So a lot of the ribbons are actually,
Smaller.
what are they, a quarter-inch thick or something like that, or wide?
I think you could soak that in hot water and that wax would disappear.
Okay.
And then you could
That's a
stain
good
it.
And then,
Yeah.
Then you
tea,
can stain it.
tea to
Yes.
stain it. A dark black
Tea
tea.
stain.
So-
The best ideas are formed live on camera.
Yeah, that's right.
The drape
Right on.
looks good. The drape, the way you set it up, looks like the prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So James, you're making these now, and these are going to be for sale.
I'm actually making them now. I started selling them basically off my Facebook page. But if you want them, the steam tractor is available for $15. The threshing machine is available for $20, and it includes all the parts to make the 3D printed model, as well as instruction sheet and all of that. So plus
For a serious thrashing.
Yeah.
Oh, and you put labels
plus
on
shipping.
the
So
box.
so it's
Yeah.
labeled
Got it
and
all
it's
set.
and everything.
job.
So
Yeah, that looks
and
good.
and what are you on Facebook, just so people can find
James Regier, and
you? There you go.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Very cool.
it's very inventive.
Another
So
startup business from the podcast.
Yeah.
Campbell Rice did it with the Illinois Central.
So I
Police.
haven't-
Yeah. Very
so
cool.
there's just been enough people, saying, well, I'd like one of those. That I
that
thought, well,
pricey,
why not
yeah.
make it available? I haven't really set up a Facebook page for any kind of business yet. So this is all just kind of experimental. See if
Right
people are actually buying it. But just to let you know, they are available now.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
yeah, but it was fun on my recent trip, and here's where I could go on for quite some time. So I'll make sure everybody's
please do.
everybody's ready for it. So
Let me get a drink.
so one of the interesting things with these threshing machines is when you're making these models, that kind of thing, you really start seeing them everywhere, and just the number of threshing machines that are parked out by the highways, just kind of standing there rusting over how many decades, that are standing there. They haven't been scrapped. They've been kept, but they're standing by the highways. But it's sort of interesting that they still, so many of them still exist in some form in preservation. And I guess I was going through the part of the country that would have a lot of them. Went through Missouri to Kansas, Kansas to Nebraska, Nebraska to Nebraska to South Dakota, South Dakota to North Dakota, and on up to Manitoba in Canada. And I was there to visit relatives, but I got a fair amount of rail fanning in too. In fact, the day that we arrived, we crossed the border at Gretna, Manitoba, and if you remember that grain elevator I built a couple years ago,
Yes.
that was the prototype for the elevator. And so I went and I took a bunch of photos of it, my own photos, so I'm not Googling someone else's, so that if I want to make improvements, I can do so fairly easily. But then I also photographed those similar elevators in Plum Coulee and in Brunkild. Those wooden elevators are actually getting pretty rare. Because they're very outdated. They were designed for small farms, and as farms have gotten larger, the capacity for one of these elevators is no longer adequate to serve a large farm. And beyond that, there's no longer the Canadian Crow rate, which kept the shipping competitive for these small elevators. And so they've gone to terminal elevators just like we have here, or to shuttle elevators. And so a lot of these have been disappearing. So it's neat that there are 3 of them at least that I was able to find that are still in preservation. The Saturday that we arrived, we took a ride on the Prairie Dog Central. Now the Prairie Dog Central, and here we're going to take some B-roll of the Prairie Dog Central going through its Y at its starting point, that they turn it around on Ys at the beginning and the end. It's a beautiful 1882 Scottish-built 440 locomotive.
Yes.
And it was originally built for the Canadian Pacific Railroad. Now, why import from Scotland? Why not bring it over the border from Baldwin when it's a shorter distance? Well, in 1882, Canada was still a dominion of Great Britain, and so therefore, it was actually a domestic product for the Canadian railroads, and so made in Scotland as opposed to made in the United States. But it still is a beautifully running locomotive, and its story is interesting. It began life as a Canadian Pacific locomotive, number 3. Then it was sold off already by about 1900 to the Winnipeg Hydro. That's the hydroelectric company there in Winnipeg, and so it would do local deliveries. And eventually, a preservation group took it over to run the Prairie Dog Central train on weekends in the summer. And they actually kept it very nicely in preservation, along with a group of coaches, wooden coaches, that were built around the turn of the century, around 1900, primarily designed not for luxury passenger service, but to bring in immigrants for settlement to Canada's interior. So all of the coaches on this train have an interesting story as well. So it was a fun Sunday afternoon that I took the family on, including a couple cousins I'd not seen in 15 years, and who would have actually never been on this train. We had a great time.
Very cool.
But-
I know,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
That's
But
great.
yeah, so it's neat that that's in preservation. And in the Assiniboine Park in Winnipeg, this was a train, a 2-foot gauge park railroad, live steam. Now I rode this as a kid, and so we'd go to the Winnipeg Zoo and visit all the animals, and we'd take the train ride was how we did it. And my kids got to do that now, 40 years later. Wow. And so it's neat that this little miniature railroad is still in existence. It was actually built in Pennsylvania by the same company that built the Six Flags steam locomotive that runs here in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And it's always been in a single family hands, and one of the problems is that the father who originally bought the locomotive has died. His son is now approaching retirement age, but has no obvious heirs that are really interested in taking over this locomotive. So they're looking for funds to help preserve it, to help keep it running, and they're looking to actually form an alliance possibly with the Prairie Dog Central for maintenance purposes and all of that, and share common shop facilities, because both being steam locomotives, they would have some of the same experience requirements for maintenance.
Very cool.
So yeah, it was a fun trip. And on the way back, it just so happened that we were passing through Deschler for their train show. And so, got
How
to
is
see
Dave and Deb?
Dave
Did you get to
and
see
Deb
them?
are doing
Mike
great.
and Jeff.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, and Mike and Jeff, they all seem to be doing well. They were very much overwhelmed by the crowd, which must have doubled, if not tripled, Deschler's population that weekend. Just the manufacturers and vendors alone that were at this show was probably enough to double the population.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I scored a couple of these beautiful Rapido refrigerator cars, mechanical reefers. These,
Look at
I
that.
don't know, right? I don't want to touch it.
Can I just
So,
look at
He's
it for
got
a
his
while?
B-roll.
yeah, so
Jason, you
We had
outdone
a-
yourself again.
I'm going to take it away from you, cameraman.
yeah,
Wow. That's nice.
those are very beautifully done. And if you look through the grating there, you can actually see the tank, the compressor, and the motor to run the refrigeration unit through the grating.
Rapido.
Rapido outdid themselves on these, and I was
What's the price point?
Again,
the price point is about $50, but they were available in Deschler for about $40. So it was a good purchase price. I bought a couple of them, and my dad, he's never been to Deschler before in the past. In fact, I don't think, when I was making trips to Canada as a kid, Deschler or the train show had not yet opened. But my dad is now saying that we ought to take a few day trips there while we're in next time we come and visit him in Kansas, because he was so well impressed by the store there. So it's really a destination worth seeing if you guys haven't been. So yeah, that's mostly what I got for now.
and they sell all their products online.
Yes.
They sell all their products
Definitely,
online.
yes.
But if you know they're going to be at the train show that you want to
This
attend,
weekend.
such as this RPM
Right.
meet, you can order and tell them to bring it to the show, and they'll do it for you. Just like if you happen to be coming to the RPM meet and you want the Thresher or the traction engine, let me know, and I'll try and accommodate you with
So
that.
you're going to be working a table there selling this stuff?
I don't have a table, but I do want to save folks shipping if I can.
We'll be in the Subaru behind the building selling.
Yeah,
Out of the back of a
right.
car.
That's right.
Out of the
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You'll have your flip phone handy.
That's
and all.
right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! There's no way to go after that. Okay, so
No.
let's go around the table one more time. Woody, I just want to say, also models the ride on the great big trains, because you've shown some of
Inch and a
that.
half scale, 7.5 inch gauge.
Yes, you've shown that 7.5 inch gauge off on the show before, and it's just that in itself we could do an entire show just talking about.
I'm in the middle of building an S4 locomotive right now. I got the trucks almost done, and then I'm going to start working on the chassis and stuff. And I've made other cars, and I just acquired some plastic seats to put on the Gon too. So that's gonna be
nice.
Very cool.
And then when I get that other locomotive built, Joshua's going to come up and
I mean, Michigan's not that far away. That
get,
guy's like
get
a
my own
3 or
little
4
one,
day
my
trip.
own little one
And
from
you
me.
can see it all on Fountain City Stories.
That's
Oh my
right.
God, you need to make me what's neat videos, like traveling around the country.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got a spare bedroom.
There you go.
20,
There you
30,000 views.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the best hobby in the world. I think we're going to
Next.
close out number 241 tonight. Just remember, we will look forward to meeting anybody and all of you that come to the RPM meet next weekend, July 28th and 29th. I understand that gentleman's going to be there scanning people.
Yeah,
What's his
Bernard
name?
Helen from
Bernard
Helen.
Helen is
That's
going to be
right.
scanning
Yeah,
people.
we're going to take him to the Transportation Museum. We're going to show him some sites around St. Louis.
Oh,
while he's here,
absolutely.
too. So-
He'll love that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
good time.
We're looking for getting maybe 10 or between 7 and 10 interviews to run in the What's Neat show for September
That's right.
coming up.
And then, as always, we're going to have a show here that Saturday night.
Saturday night here out in Bluff.
That's right.
George Bogatuk, I know, is going to be here. I've heard rumors that Chris Palomares might be coming to town to visit with us.
Maybe.
As you've seen in the past, we usually have 14 to 20 guests on the show, various manufacturers and very astute modelers like
And-
Steve Hurt.
And 60 to 70
yeah.
people watching us take
that
the show.
made us
Yeah.
the What's Neat vehicle that we proudly display on the show all the time. Steve, you're an amazing modeler. There's so many good modelers that come to that show. So look forward to that
I
next
got
week,
one of his
folks.
cars.
Oh, yeah. He's,
So without
pretty
dragging,
awesome.
without going on any longer, we're at 3034, best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it. We're going to take the NCE Pro Cab system, and actually I want to hook up the thing to the N-Scale lat, the smaller power cab
let's do
system.
that. I want to run these.
And we are going to, actually I want to run some trains tonight. Let's do this. Ready?
Right on.
Let's run some trains, boys.
Let's do it.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time. All
All right, don't kill that camera. Keep that one rolling for 45 seconds as we do the thumbnail, and that gives us enough time to roll the credits. And
Ready?
these two pictures pop up to show the most popular videos. And ready, set. What do you want to do?
Hold something up. Hold the Pro Cab up. Smile and wave.
There you go. Look at, you got all of us in frame. And we have that.
That's great.
Okay, just let that one roll as I kill sound. And good job, Woody.
Thank you, sir.
Did you say everything you wanted to talk about
I
tonight?
hope so. If I didn't, they'll let me know.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Well, if
Thank you all, you guys.
If they
Come on,
have
get
any
up here
more
and walk
questions,
around.
they can get a hold of you guys. So
You guys can walk
that's
around
awesome.
while we shoot B-roll of
Yay!
I know, right? Did that seem smooth?
Yeah, another one in the book.
There was only one pause.
There was a couple, but he'll edit them out.
No, I won't edit that mic pause out. What did he say that brought it on? There was something he said that was very...
He said he wasn't going to bring the G scale auto rack.
Yeah.
Because it's all new.
And then it
Yeah.
got quiet and awkward.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the beep is done
I have
on
a
time.
feeling he's going to bring the skill auto rack.
I swear that thing is cursed.
I didn't say a word about I'm modeling on abandoned railroad.
I never thought about that.
I'll
maybe,
bring it.
Raleigh's
We can
related
bring
to
it.
Campbell.
How's that?
Their both last name is Rice.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. That's